I'm gonna try to compile my thoughts one maybe 15-minute video, which is definitely a challenge, but I think I can get it done. Hello, my name's Naomi. I know it doesn't sound like it, but that's what it is, so here you go. I'm just here to talk today about connection, and I think that's what I'm gonna title this video, is just connection. Specifically, I want to talk about my connection with other people. In general, I don't find myself feeling that connected to most people. I'd say I really only have, like, a few close friends in the world. And to be honest, lately I think I've lost a couple. I think I struggle to connect with people on a really personal level. I don't struggle with conversation. I don't struggle with typical, I guess, social anxiety. I definitely have some, but it's more in relation to being trans. But in general, I'm not that connected to everyone. It's pretty much my parents, some extended family, and like a few really close friends. And everyone else is just, you know, friends, randoms, strangers, it's all kind of the same. And it's not that I don't like any of these people, I love them all to death. But most of these people don't know who I am. And I will confidently say that none of my current friends know really to the full extent who I am. I don't think I have a single person in the world that knows who I am, to be honest. It's a bit of a scary thought. The connection that I feel with almost all other people is just kind of loosely based on pretty innocuous things. Like, I have one person who's definitely not, like, my closest friend in the world or anything, but, you know, he's a good friend of mine, who we're really connected about TF2 together, right? We both love TF2, we both like cars, and that's pretty much our main points. It's like those things, and we talk about those things. Blah, 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 we go to car shows. That's all great. And then I have another friend who I smoke a lot with. You know, that's not necessarily why I like her or anything. That's just something that we share in common and connect over. There are all these people in the world who I connect with, and I connect with all these people over different things. You know, one of my best friends in the world, who unfortunately had to move away many years ago, but I still keep in touch with and have visited at least once. One of my friends, that person, he is a great guy. We connect on a lot of things, actually. We connect on Minecraft, we connect on TF2, we connect on our love of movies and shows and music and our general outlook on the world. We're pretty tight. I've known this guy since I was like 2 or 3, and I still talk to him pretty regularly, so yeah, I would say I'm really close with this guy. But despite all this, despite some of my best friends in the world being very connected with me and me being very connected with them, there is kind of a gap in a lot of people's knowledge about me. Most people don't know that that gap is there. I actually don't have a number on it or anything, but I would assume at least a few of my friends know that there's more to me than whatever I've told them. But I don't know if all of them do, and I don't think they do either. And I don't think most people know what that part is if they think like that. 'Cause I'm a pretty reserved person, even if I don't seem like I'm not. I usually am. Not necessarily like always happy-go-lucky and shit. Just because I'm outgoing doesn't mean that, you know, I don't have my own preferences and reservations about certain things. So most of the time, I'm a lot more private than people would think. I have a lot more things about me that people don't know, and the main thing I'm going to try to talk about today, if I will finally get to the point, is being trans. That's something that I think only like 5 or 6 people in 7 In real... Okay, that sounds like a big number, but it really isn't. I'll explain why. I think 7 people IRL know that I'm trans. Because I'm not out, not presenting. Sure, I dress fun sometimes how I want to, but that doesn't really mean anything. It could just be some fucking fruity outfit for most people's purposes. Most people don't give a shit. Despite, like, 6 or 7 people knowing that part of me, they don't really know it. They know of it, but they don't know it. And the reason I say this is because, while I have revealed to at least a few of my friends that I am trans, I've never had a good conversation about it, really. Whenever I've had any kind of connection with anyone who is also trans, it's been online, or it's been shot down and brutally murdered in real life. I will maybe talk about that another day. Spoiler, I talk about something that's also a little rough related to this topic later in the video, but what I actually just mentioned there, I do not talk about in this video, so I will make a video about that in the future. But I haven't really ever connected with anyone that deeply, in life. And I don't have any friends that are trans. I don't have a significant other that is. Did at one point, but to be honest, I think I want to find a friend that is before I go looking for kind of relationship, whether they're trans or not. Point is, a lot of these people know of that part of me. They know it exists, but they don't know much about it. They just know that that's a part of my identity. That's not something they can probably deduce from how I dress most days and how I talk and everything and how I look. That's not a part of me that I really talk about. It's something like that, like I said, I have reservations on. I have a lot of personal baggage and preferences and things that lead me to not talk about it. And I have so much baggage, in fact, that I don't think I will be finding a real, at least an say real. When I say real, I don't mean, like, true friendship, I mean, like, real life. That's what I mean. You can have real, heartfelt online relationships, friendships, and everything. So, it's not to discredit that, but I consider real-life friendships my version of real. Not that any others are fake. But for the time being, I don't think I will find another trans person in real life. I don't think that person exists for me. I like how everyone likes to say, oh, there's more efficiency, there are more fucking butterflies in the nest. That's not a real phrase, but the point is, there are more people out there that you can connect with. And a lot of people make a big point out of that idea. I think that idea can sometimes be a bit misleading. I'm gonna say I go to a pretty transphobic school. I will state it as it is. That's just a fact. I live in a generally pretty progressive area, but the school I go to is full of assholes. I will confidently say that the majority of people here at my school, whether that be 51% or 70%, I can't really put an exact number on it, are transphobic. What is this guy Well, good fucking going, dude. Now this guy's gonna win. Hope you're real fucking happy with yourself. I don't usually call people dumbasses. I think that would get me, like... I don't even know if that would get me a warn. I'm a moderate. You know what? I'm gonna warn myself. There we go. But, because of this, there aren't that many trans people in my school. And, of all the trans people that are there, pretty much all the ones that I know of that are out, really, are trans masked. They are not trans femme. That doesn't mean that I can't connect with them. That was nice. That was a fun fireball kill. But it does mean that I won't connect with them the same way that I might a trans-feminine person. You know, it's just a completely different experience. There are a lot of parallels, but the two are miles apart. It's like the same experience, but like 3 miles down the same street, you know what I mean? Like the same street, but like different ends of it. Shit doesn't matter. No metaphors for this. Actually that's a simile. You know, it doesn't fucking matter, you know, it doesn't matter. Point is, it's not something that my school is known for. They're not known for being all that accepting. They might like to pretend they are on the administrative end, but they aren't. They are a bunch of assholes, at least the students are, and some of the staff. But most of the students are assholes, and that is something that I will double down on and say confidently. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, you can't find friends. I have plenty of friends. I mean, you know, some of the most valuable relationships in the world are with people who I might normally assume to be assholes, even though they're not. It's just like my first glance at them. I judge people. You judge people. We all judge people. And my judgmental self would assume that they're an asshole. These people are nice. Point is of all this, I don't really have a way to make connections in real life. I do not have a way to connect with other people like me. On real life. And that fucking sucks. It's not something I'm happy about. Something I'm pretty pissed off about, actually. I'd say pissed off is a little inaccurate. I would say, demoralized by, that's a little more accurate. Crushed. Yeah, something like that. But I am pissed off about it, nonetheless. And this is how it's been for my entire life. I didn't really know that I was trans until pretty recently. I mean, I guess there were signs. I always knew there was something a little weird with me, but I didn't know what it was for the longest time. And that's just kind of how I've grown up. You know, I live in a pretty nice place. I live in California, which is, you know, it's certainly no Alabama or Georgia for LGBT rights and whatnot. It's a pretty great place, for the most part. But, specifically, the high school, young adult experience, is going to be pretty universally trash if you're trans. And that's just kind of what I've learned from my own experience and talking to at least one other person. That it's just not going to be all that great, or what. You could go to a pretty okay school, and you will still have a shit time most of the time. That's just kind of how it is. Sure, you got your rights, you got your, you know, pocket full of fucking trans joy, sunshine, or whatever the fuck that people want you to have. But for the most part, it's still gonna suck, you know? People are still gonna be assholes, and that's because they're teenagers. Like, that's just kind of a thing that a lot of, I guess, adolescents share in common. And the entire reason that I bring any of this up is because I don't have anywhere to talk about this. I have nowhere. And it was only until literally less than a week ago, I think, that I did something about that. I joined a Discord server. A pretty harmless, or I guess it could be harmful, statement in and of itself. What I mean by that is, I joined a Discord server specifically to connect with other trans. And that's not because I wanted to, really. I do want to connect with other people. I don't want to really do it on Discord most of the time. I want to talk with people in real life. That's not something I have right now. So I joined a Discord server, and that server is some stupid fucking name like Meow Meow Woof Dog server. Doesn't matter what the name is. What's important is that it's owned by a trans YouTuber I found a week ago, by the name of Melanie. I'll put her channel in the description for any trans folk that need a good person to watch. Highly recommend these days. But I did that, and I've realized that even though I joined this server and expected to connect with a bunch of people, especially about being trans, I ironically have more of a difficult time doing that online rather than in person. It's kind of fucked up. I don't know why that is. I will say for most people it seems to be the opposite. Yeah. But for me, it's the other way around. I really, really struggle to connect with people online. I have a good amount of online friends, but out of, like, all of them, I will say that there's only really one that I've talked in depth with about being trans right now, and there are probably, like, 3 or 4 total that I'm, like, really, really close with, that don't know that part about me, and I don't talk with that about them. So now I'm here, I'm sat on Discord, my little nerdy ass, and now what? I'm in some server with a bunch of fucking people I don't know. Isn't that great? It'd be a lot easier if this server was just like one big room in real life. You just walk up to someone and say, hey, what the fuck is, like, happening right now, you know? Just like, say anything. But it's not like that, unfortunately. I know that's not how most people's minds work, but for me, that's what I would prefer. I want to connect with people in real life. I don't have that connection. Really hurts to say, because I've tried having that connection with someone. Tried multiple ways. I'll say that there was a point in my life where I was very connected with another trans person, who she also knew all about, you know, my own struggles with dysphoria and being trans, blah blah blah, my own thoughts on, I guess, myself, etc., etc., yip and yap. But it was a relationship. And yes, I guess it could transcend that online e-dater garbage, because we did meet up in real life, but despite this, we only really ever connected online. You know, we met up in real life for about a week, and that was nice and all, but it was 1 week of my life out of 1 year or so relationship. Which is interesting. It's definitely something that you can have your own thoughts on, I don't know. Coming back to connection, I struggle with it. I struggle with it because of my own issues. I struggle with it because of some of my reservations. I struggle with it because of the school I go to. All the above. And what prompted this video in the first place was a video by Melanie. I don't remember what video this was, but it was a video of hers I was watching last night, and it made me cry. I don't know if I mentioned this in this video. This might have been, like, during the first attempt at recording this. But I cried to this video, and the reason I cried was not because it was a bad video or, like, you know, it wasn't tears of happiness either. It was just depressing. Not just because she's British, I know. Not just because she's British, although I guess that is a little unfortunate. Sorry about that. But the reason I cried was that she said she had been looking for trans people in her area for a long time. For, I guess, 2 or 3 years or something. Some X amount of time that's kind of a long time, relatively. And that made me cry, because I've been doing a similar thing, and I've only really ever found, like, one trans person that's semi in real life. I don't even know what you would call this, like, kind of relationship with someone. Not a romantic relationship. I mean, just, like, how you relate to someone. Like, this person is friend of my friend's friend who does not even go to this school. So, she goes to a completely different school, which is literally, like, I don't know, 10 miles away, which doesn't sound like much, and I guess it isn't much, but it's kind of a fucking long drive in the Bay Area. I tried to talk to her, specifically because her best friend in the whole world thought that we would be cute together. She didn't know I was trans or anything. She had no idea. She was just like, hey, you and this person, she would like you. You would like her. I was like, okay, great. And I had heard great things about her before. One of my good friends had met her before and talked to me all about her. And I was like, oh, this seems like a pretty cool person. I'd love to meet her. And we do talk. We talk for a good, like, 3 weeks straight. Then I ask, like, hey, what's your schedule like? We should, like, hang out with your best friend and my friend, and we should all hang out and do shit or something. I said some very nonchalant dreadhead type shit, you know what I mean? Just like very not too forward thing, just like a, hey, I'd like to meet you. We should do something. You know? It wasn't anything weird or anything. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, but I'm like really busy for the next 3 weeks, which is fair, because he's taking a lot of APs and blah blah blah, and that's not my business. I'm not taking like one AP. So I'm not nearly as busy as her. So I get that. People are going to be busy. If you're in responsibilities, that's fine. But eventually, I sent just a picture of me playing Celeste because I had really connected with this person. And this is a month ago or so when I bought Celeste. And I was really starting to get like big into it. And I sent it with a caption like, I'm not beating the stereotypes today, because I had talked to her about my own experience being closeted and trans. And she was very open with that, very helpful, very good, because she's someone that's out and I'm not. So it was good to get kind of a perspective on that. And blah blah blah, this and that. I talked to her for weeks, and then I send this picture of me playing Celeste, like, oh, I'm not beating the stereotypes, which if you know Celeste, you know that, like, every other Celeste player is a trans girl. It's just kind of a fact. It's whatever. It makes sense. The main character's trans, the creator is trans. It's a pretty gay game, and it talks about a lot of, you know, depression things that are aligned with dysphoria. Not necessarily dysphoria itself, but adjacent to it. I sent that picture, and I never got a response back. Like, this is a month ago. And there was a point where she just, like, didn't text me for a couple days, and that's not something that I really freaked out, not broke. It's not something I really freaked out about or anything. I was just like, damn, that kind of sucks. I want her to text me back, and I vocalized that to my friends, like, what do I even do? I don't want to be a nerd and double text, but, like, I like connecting with people, you know what I mean? But I didn't. There was a point where I did, but then the second time it happened, I was just like, alright, you know what, I'll just be nonchalant. So I did that, and eventually, you know, she got back to me. She was doing some shit, whatever. Living her life. And then, when I sent that picture, I never ever got a response back. And I don't know what to do about that. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I don't think there's anything I will do about it. You know, I felt weird about it, man. And I don't even know if that text is what caused her to never respond to me. Because I never said anything like we should date or something. That's why I was put in contact with her and why her friend wanted us to connect, but, like, it's not really what my focus was, to be honest. It really wasn't. It was just, yeah, I had a little interest. I had a lot of interest in her, but, like, that wasn't really why I was, like, connecting with her. It was more just because I needed someone to connect with on that level. Wow, this server sucks. Holy moly, this is bad. Regardless of what happened, though, it made me feel shitty. It made me feel terrible. And I still have not texted her back. I don't think I ever will. It'd be kind of weird, too. It'd be more weird than just, you know, her leaving me on delivered for a month. You know, it made me feel pretty shitty in the moment. And while I'm not, like, terribly upset about it anymore, like, for the first, I guess, the week after it, it kind of just sucked to me because I got so attached to this person that I didn't even know. I didn't get attached in a romantic way. I didn't even get attached in, like, a, wow, you're so pretty way. I didn't get infatuated, because that implies love. I just got, like, obsessed, just because I don't have any friends that are trans. I have none. So, it sucked for me. It was in and of itself a little bit of a heartbreak. And this whole experience, I guess, like I said earlier, it demoralized me. I felt terrible, I felt shitty, and whenever I think about it, which isn't that often anymore, but, you know, a couple times a week, that'll cross my mind, like, damn, I don't have any friends that are trans, you know, I don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm trying to find that in Discord, of all places. I guess what the entire point of this video is just, you know, there isn't like a moral here. I'm not gonna end it on some positive note. No, I feel shitty. I feel awful. I really do. And I'm pissed off. And I'm sad, and I'm upset, and I'm angry, and I'm a little disgusted with everything. Myself, and everyone else. I have all these emotions, and they're all tied to connection. So, what note I will end this video on is just, if you have a connection with someone in that way, don't ruin it. Don't, I guess, send a picture of you playing Celeste, because that's, I guess, a terrible idea or something, I don't know. I don't think it really was. I think it was something else, but I don't know what it was. Value your connection with people. Value yourself. Value your connection to your own mind and body and spirit. And God, if that's something that you fuck with. You know, connect with what you gotta. If that's Jesus, if that's, you know, yourself, if that's your mom, if that's fucking Satan, I don't know. If you gotta worship Satan to stay sane and start, you know, loving yourself, you know what, fuck it, fine, do it. I'm not a Christian anyway, it's not really any of my business, so. I just want whoever's watching this video to at least take away that whatever connections you do have, you need to value, and if you're lucky enough to connect with someone about a very vulnerable part of yourself, like being trans, keep that person around. That being said, putting off all of my homework right now. I have a history test I need to study for tomorrow. I have a lot of crying I need to do tonight. And I have, I think, estradiol, I don't remember how to say it, in the mail on the way. So, you know, not all bad. Yeah, we're close to Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna end this video finally by saying, if you have that connection with someone, say it in the comments, say thank you to blank for this connection, and tell me what that connection means to you. Yeah, thank you for watching this video, if you did. If you didn't, I mean, not watching it, that was fucking stupid. Yeah, thank you.